Welcome, everyone, to another Winning Bred production featuring the Belmont Stakes. Brady Klotz here, BK Chalk, with my buddy Dylan, the CEO, as you guys know him. What is up, Dylan? How's it going tonight? You ready to pick some winners or what? Let's go.
I'm getting a little bit of echo here, but other than that, we are doing amazing.
Wow, we've got a bunch of people in the chat. We got Lisa here tonight. We've got Sam. Man, you guys were ready. We had a lot of people waiting in the queue. John, good to talk to you again, John. Greg, Arthur. Dude, this is awesome. Winning Bred is growing like crazy. Thanks for joining us tonight, guys. We wanted to come at you a little bit early before the Belmont Stakes, talk about the late pick 5, announce some contest winners, and then also announce some big contests that we're going to be featuring this weekend. So you're going to want to pay attention and be a part of that towards the end of the show. And please chime in. If you guys have opinions, we want to hear them. Dylan and I are going to be sharing our handicapping angles tonight as we go through our individual tickets that we're going to be playing. We'd love to hear your input. Make a case for some horses for us, and we can talk. Ask questions in the chat. We're happy to go over things multiple times for you guys. So thank you all for joining. Cindy, what is up? Good to talk to you again. It's been a while. Man, everybody's here tonight. Victor, dude.
No hockey talk, Frank.
Okay, lightning and 6. That's what I need. I would very much appreciate that. So, Dylan, we're going to Belmont, dude. This is probably, Preakness, was kind of a little bit of a lull. It's like, okay, Derby fever's over, but we got the Derby winner coming back to Belmont on Saturday, Rich Strike. All that money that was won on him at 80-1, you've got to think that those bettors are going to be back.
Yeah, it's I have a feeling he's going to be favored. Race goes off, or at least co-favorite.
I would
definitely get some value across the board.
I would love that. Obviously their weather could come into play. Last I saw it was like about a 50 or 60% chance of rain. So we're going to handicap it for no rain. And if it rains, we'll post our changes if need be. But we've got some short fields, and that's not always a bad thing. Kind of the talk on Twitter this week was, man, it sucks that these fields are so small. It doesn't suck. I love 5-horse fields with 5 superstars in each race. Come on. The first race that we're going to go over in the pick 5 sequence is the Ogden Phipps, and we've got 5 all-stars in this race. And so, anybody telling you that the card sucks, don't talk to them. Press your opinions. We're just not going to be spending as much on our tickets. We're going to be playing the tickets multiple times, and that's how we're going to make big scores this weekend. So here we go. The Perez says Rich Strike never wins a grade 1 ever again. I would agree with that, unless he wins on Saturday, which is a grade 1. And so I wouldn't be surprised if the horse never wins again. That'll be something for us to chat about. Dave's Dylan for president. All right. Do you have political ambitions, Dylan?
No, not at this time. No comments. No comments. Yeah. But you never know what the future holds. Horse, so, all right, guys. So what we want to do first is we want to announce the contest winners from last week's contest. I'm going to flash this up on the board here. We had Walter Rogers, Daniel Beacom, Tom Casolo, Nick Mizios, and then Carson Belvins. If that was one of you guys, please reach out to us on Twitter. Send a DM to @winningbred, and we'll be able to get you your prize for last week's contest. I want to leave this up here for a second just in case. We'll flash this at the end as well, just in case we missed anybody. And then we'll start going over our other contests later on in the show. Congratulations to the winners, by the way.
Yeah, that's awesome. We love seeing people win, and that's why we're really in this. This is what Winning Bred's all about. We want to bring together people in handicapping, educate them from all walks of life. We don't care if you're a $2 show bettor or if, you're really taking it to the bank and bringing a Brinks truck home when you leave the track. We want to create a community for everybody. Everybody feels welcome. Everybody can share their opinions. And so, we want to create the biggest community in horse racing. And that's what we're after with Winning Bred. Let's get right into it, Dylan. I'm going to pull up the PPs here. This Ogden Phipps, I'll tell you what, 1 1/16, 1 turn at Belmont. We've got a lone speed horse in Latruska, and it looks like she's back in form. She won this race, she won the personal ensign last year at Saratoga going 1 1/8. Went 1 1/8 at Keeneland and won. Del Mar didn't really work out for the Breeders' Cup going 1 1/8, but that was a way different pace scenario with a lot of different horses that are not going to be racing here. She comes back with an impressive debut for her next season, and then we get to Oaklawn, and she really kind of showed her stuff in the Apple Blossom over Clairiere. Is Latruska back to her past form? Is she better, or has she taken a little bit of regression, do you think?
I ultra consistent. Every time I discount her, she shows up. She's just a hard knocking horse. I see this third off a layoff. This is going to be a really strong race for her. I was just looking at the pace scenario. Obviously, Latruska speed is speed, but you have Irad outside on search results, and does he dare? I mean, I think that horse could be as fast as Latruska at any distance as far as fractions are concerned. But I don't think the Ortiz brothers are going to play any games in this race. I don't see Irad pushing Latruska, but you have obviously a smaller field and lone speed, very dangerous, and this horse speaks for herself. I mean, she's a once in a lifetime horse for the connections.
Absolutely. And Arthur made a good comment. Latruska is 7 for 8 at this distance. And so that being a key player in here. And at Belmont, a mile and the 16th is only one turn. Search results, the other speed horse from the outside, is a one-turn specialist. And so I would agree. I think Latruska gets clear here. It's just how many great efforts can she throw in before she throws in another clunker? Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm going to be pressing Latruska pretty hard on my tickets, on both my hammer ticket and my spread ticket. But if you were going to look to maybe a price here, we're going to get 8-1 on Bonnie South with our boy Flavian Pratt. Flavian's obviously doing great for Brad Cox. This is a deep closer. And so Bonnie South's going to need some pace into this race. Even if she runs her A game, she may just be a little bit trip and pace compromised. But you know how Flavian is. He's an aggressive rider. He usually doesn't take the horses back to last like Rosario does and some other jockeys. Do you think that maybe Bonnie South, if she can get a blitzing pace, I mean, I'm talking like Kentucky Derby pace, I think that's her only shot. Do you give her a chance?
Yeah, I mean, I think she'll, without a doubt, small field, she'll be closer to the pace. I just feel that Bonnie South is a little bit of a hanger. If you look at her past races, it's like she gets within a length or two and just doesn't want to pass horses. I mean, obviously she's been running against the top fillies and mares out there, but I'm just not really feeling this horse. She's going to need a strong pace to run at, and I don't see it. I don't, it's not going to be multiple horses up on top. Like I said, I see the Ortiz brothers. I see them going 1-2 at the half mile pole. I do, however, I mean, we'll get to the Clairiere. I think Clairiere is going to be a lot closer to the pace, but we'll let's cover Bonnie South first. But I think she's got basically one pace where she's going to be towards the rear and hopefully have some quick fractions to run at, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a note from Cindy here. She says that she's against the one if it's wet. I guess maybe Latruska's never raced on a sloppy track and has the lowest wet speed figure rating on the DRF. And so maybe that's something to consider if we get some rain. I don't know. I like horses on the lead when it's wet and in a muddy track. They don't get anything in their face. And so we'll have to see how it plays out weather-wise. But, Dylan, I'm in agreement on Bonnie South here. This is a horse I'm not going to use as a wing contender. This is a horse that you can almost certainly try to use in second or third. She comes with her run. She's kind of a one pace. If the horses get tired up front, she's going to be the one picking up pieces at the end. I'm just not going to lean on her. I'm not going to be able to trust her with this pace compromising trip that she's going to get.
Yeah.
We'll move on to Malathot now. 5-2 on the Todd Pletcher train, Johnny V ridden, Kentucky Oaks winner of last year. I am against this 5-2 shot. And I think a lot of people are going to be using Malathot as the second choice. Brett's using her as a single. I don't like her current form. I don't think that she actually progressed into her 4-year-old season a way that I like to see a horse progress. I think she regressed a little bit and actually almost lost to Bonnie South back at Keeneland. I was actually there that day. It was a Keeneland Friday, and it wasn't that visually impressive. And, we're both data guys, but, man, your eye doesn't lie to you. When you see a horse and you're so used to seeing her run a certain way, that's why I'm a huge proponent of going to the races live. I love seeing the horses in the walking ring. I like seeing how they're acting on the track. I like to see how they gallop out in person. And so I just was not like a blown away amazed by Malathot. And let's be honest, the winner of this race is probably going to be the favorite in one of the Breeders' Cup races, whether it's the Distaff or wherever they go. And so I think that the price is going to be too low for me on Malathot. I am actually going to chuck this horse on my hammer ticket, and I'm not even going to use it on the spread ticket, which we'll get to later, which is kind of taking a stand. What are your thoughts on Malathaat here?
Yeah, interesting. The last race was definitely, it was a slow race. They came home the last quarter and let's say the last 16th and 32, which is really slow. But to her defense, there was a 5-6 month layoff. So I'm not going to really look too deep into that. That field wasn't a good field whatsoever. And it was a 6-horse field. The pluses with this horse, she's 3 for 3. Her last 2 second off layoffs. So obviously, the connections know where to place her, and she does peak second off. And she's got aside from the last race in Keeneland, she's got the best closing numbers out of the entire field. But you want to eliminate that? That's fair. I'm on my deeper tickets. I'm certainly gonna use her and Latruska.
Yeah. If we look at Malathaat's buyers going 1.1 miles, which is this specific distance, Barry C brings up a great point on this. They're just lower, 88 and an 89, where, maybe this isn't her forte. Maybe she wants to go a little bit longer. And so maybe she likes 2 turns better than she likes 1 turn. That's kind of what I'm going with here. And so, in a 5-horse field, I just personally, I'm not going to be able to fit her on my ticket. But if she beats me, then I guess everybody else is going to be cashing. So yeah, that's what we got on Malathaat.
Stick to your guns. Stick to your guns, Brady.
Oh, that's what you have to do on these big days. So, I mean, how often do we see these big days chalk out? It seems like about 2 out of every 3 of these big days, it's like you look at the pick 5 payout and it was like $250. So, I mean, there's going to be some tickets where I spend less than $10 on a 50-cent pick 5. And you've got a huge hammer ticket that we're going to release later once we get through the rest of the card. You guys are going to want to see this. Razor Sharp Picks is in the house. What's up? Thanks for joining us.
There he is.
All right. We're going to get down to Clairiere. This is the horse that, we've got Rosario, so we really don't know what kind of ride we're going to get. Is he going to be on his A game and give us one of those absolutely magical, only Joel can do kind of rides? Or is he going to give us one of those head scratchers where he leaves, 30 lengths between her and Latruska, and he just doesn't have enough time to make up the ground? I do really, really like this horse in Clairiere. 3-1, that's a little tough to swallow. Asmussen and Rosario have kind of been going through their ups and downs this year. And so it hasn't really been a dynamic duo like we thought it was going to be at the beginning of the year with all these solid horses that Joel was going on for Steve. And so I think Clairiere is that horse that I'm going to probably use in second. I really like taking horses form out of similar races and playing that exacta back in the next race, which is exactly what we got at the Apple Blossom at Oaklawn last time Latruska faced Clairiere. I think Malathaat's going to take money. I think Search Results is going to take money. But I think Clairiere may be that one horse that gets a little ignored by the betting public. The morning line odds maker, David Aragona, definitely did not ignore Clairiere at 3-1. Another horse that's going to be a little bit pace compromised. And I hate to say it, Rosario is going to have to be a little bit tactical with this horse and not be 30 lengths back. Do you think that this horse is very similar to how Bonnie South's going to ride?
Yeah, I see Clairiere as a little bit more. I think Rosario is definitely going to keep her a lot closer. Normally she's, some races she's 7-8 lengths back of the lead, but yeah, there's no question. The closing horses here must be faster. They have to be closer to the pace just because there's one speed horse. So it's got to be the right thing to do. Clairiere is definitely has a legit shot. Like you said, probably going to be within that 3-1, 5-2 number. Maybe the public does overlook, but they just ran 1-2. Latruska and Clairiere last race, so maybe you could come back with that same exacta.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then to round off the field, we've got the 5-horse Search Results that was ultra impressive last time out in the Ruffian. I know I played Royal Flag that day, and I threw my tickets in the trash, unfortunately, because I didn't see Search Results putting in that effort. And so that was impressive. I think the buyers are a little bit light on this horse. I think this would be a huge step up in class. Chad's been hot right now, fresh off the Preakness win. Search Results is obviously informed. This will be your third start off the layoff from last year at Saratoga in the test. Maybe stretching out in distance again is what she wants. This horse ran in the Kentucky Oaks in 2021 and went a 1 1/8 there, went a 1 1/8 at Aqueduct the race before that in the Gazelle. Then they started shortening her up a little bit to a 7 furlong 1 miler. Now we're getting back out to a 1 1/16. Are they trying to fish here, or do you think that maybe this is the distance that Search Results is really going to prefer?
Yeah, it's a good question. Extremely versatile, without a doubt. This horse could be on the lead, could be right off it, can close a little bit. As I mentioned, as I alluded to in the beginning, this horse could go 46, and if she wanted to, given the pace scenario. I see Irad right behind Jose. I would say within like 2 lengths, of the race. But I don't know. I think the connections are very confident in this race. It's a versatile filly. She's third off a layoff. The buyers, like you said, are a bit light compared to the rest of the field. But she third off a layoff. She could fire her best race ever.
Yeah. I think in the chance that Search Results has is, can she make another buyer jump like she did? She started the season off with a 71 going 7. Then we popped the 96. Can we pop like a 103 here? And if she can, maybe she's going to be good enough to get in that winner's circle and pass Latruska in the stretch. I think the scenario that Search Results wins is if she can press Latruska a little bit, if Latruska breaks a step slow, or if maybe Latruska decides that she just doesn't want to run anymore. I mean, she's going to be so far ahead of these that I think Search Results is maybe going to be a little bit in over her head. But maybe she's just the horse that's going to be peaking in the best form out of all these 5 on race day. And so I could make a case for her that she's just trending well. And if she gets that exact setup, she could get it done.
Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
with you 100%
so
on that.
As far as yeah, go ahead, Dylan.
No, I think we're on the same page on this race. Like to see some feedback on the chat here. But I think we're like most people, we're going to try to single Latruska here, and maybe go a little bit. We'll go a little bit deeper on our deeper pick 5 tickets, maybe using 2 or 3 horses. But I on the majority of the tickets that we're going to post later, Latruska is my single.
Yeah, same here. Keep the chats coming, guys. You guys are doing great. We're getting a lot of good opinions. We're trying to post everybody that we can. We want the whole community to see your guys' opinions. Maybe Arthur thinks she'll bounce off of that effort. That is a bounce type of effort. I would agree, Arthur. When you jump buyers that big and you come back for a bigger race, we'll see if she can take a step forward or if she takes 2 steps back. We'll find out. Obviously, weather's going to come into play. It was a sloppy track last time at Belmont when she won in the Ruffian. So maybe she's just a slop freak. That looked like, as far as her going on a wet track, that was her first ever try on a muddy track, and it happened to work out. So if it rains on Saturday, maybe upgrade Search Results a little bit more than you would if it's a dry track. But I think the general consensus is Latruska's lone speed. She's by far the class of the field. She really likes beating up on these short-fielded races. And so she's not going to have anybody else press her. She's going to have everything her own way. And so in my hammer ticket, I'm going to single Latruska. And in my spread ticket, I'm going to use a couple of horses as kind of my B and backups, Clairiere and Search Results. And then Malathot would be a real deep C for me if I was going to add Malathot on the ticket.
Yeah, you and I are on the same page.
All right. Looks like the people in the chat are in agreement as well. We're not getting any nasty grams. So thanks, everybody. Keep it up. All right. Let's go to the second race. This is the Diaper. And I'll tell you what, as short of the fields as people are talking about and as chalky as people think it's going to be, the Diaper is a full field of 13. We've got a 6 furlong turf sprint. Anything can happen in these turf sprints, as we know. And so we're thinking that the 2 turf races that are really going to determine the payout of the pick 5 are the Diaper here and then the Manhattan, the 1.25 mile turf race that we're going to get to later in the card. Dylan, we could talk about each one of these horses here. I kind of had an ABC structure myself for these horses that I'm going to really try to lean on here. I don't really, the first thing that comes to mind when you see a race like this is all button, right? Because anything can happen. The speed couldn't break. Maybe the speed's lone speed. Maybe you get trip trouble, trying to go one turn as fast as you can with 13 horses in the field. But at the same time, I really don't want to waste a whole lot of ticket equity by just hitting the all button here if I don't have to. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about them one by one here. We got Change of Control, the one horse here that our boy Manny Franco, who actually rode really, really well today for Chad. Nice day, Manny. Riding for Michelle Lovell. If we're looking at the buyer par in the top right, it's a 104. This horse hasn't even come close to touching it as a 6-year-old. And so, this is a horse that's coming out of Fairgrounds, coming out of Keeneland, which I thought the Fairgrounds horses were really strong this year, especially heading into Churchill in Kentucky after that meet was up. But, this one, it's just a cut below for me. We're talking grade 1. This horse is never, he ran in the Woodbine Mile when Raging Bull ran, which was like eons ago. And so, I think that this horse is just a cut below. I really can't make a case for him. He kind of sits that mid-pack trip, which, really doesn't ever have a bad trip, can be a little bit versatile. I just think that when I've got 13 horses to choose from, I'm not really going to lean on this horse Change of Control, but you never know.
Yeah, there's a few angles, and we're going to go over each horse in this race, but I do like when a horse has a lead in the stretch, deep in the stretch, and gets caught. I typically come back with a horse like that, and with Succession. It's been one of my few angles that comes to fruition. The horse, one for one at Belmont, likes the surface, 1 for 2 at the distance. A little bit on the cheaper side, a lot of these horses have been in much more competitive fields, but it's a horse on my deeper tickets I would certainly use. As you alluded to, Brady, Franco's hot. This horse has increased buyers for those who look at buyer figures. The increased buyers the last few races. My whole issue with this race, and we'll get into it, there's not much for a sprint race, 6 furlongs. There's not much speed in this race. There's like 1 or 2 horses that can go 22, 45, 22, 44 and a half. But we'll get, when we get to Wesley Ward's horse, we'll go into more detail.
You're right. True Valor and Arrest Me Red are probably the 2 speeds of the race. So maybe, since there's not much pace, maybe that puts Change of Control a little bit closer than what he's used to being. And so all we have to do is go back to last November at Aqueduct. This horse beat Too Sexy, which is a good sprinter for Christophe Clement, and also knocked me out of the pick 5 because I was single to Too Sexy, of course. But, so I think maybe if the pace isn't as hot and Change of Control can sit maybe that 3rd spot, 3rd or 4th, then maybe this horse is going to have first run on the rest if the 2 speeds up front tire. So that's the only case I can really make for Change of Control at this time. Yeah.
I agree with you.
All right. We'll move down to the 2 horse here, Omaha City. This is a horse that I'm not too familiar with. We just changed trainers, and we're coming out of Gulfstream Park where the horse had literally no success. We ran a 6th, a 6th, an 8th, and a 3rd. Optional claimer last time out. We tried the Gulfstream Park Turf Sprint grade 3. I'm trying to figure out what they're thinking here in this race. This horse, he seems like a cut below. Tried Lasix last time, ran a little bit better, showed a little bit more speed out of the gate. And, this horse would absolutely have to run the race of his life. Doesn't have a whole lot of early speed, showed a little bit more speed last time, but, they've just been kind of playing trainer ping pong with this horse recently between these 2 brothers. I'm not sure. I'm not too familiar with these trainers, but 21 morning line. I'm guessing this 2 horse is going to float up a lot higher than that. 2, what's he got? 2 for 15 on turf. I don't know. I didn't expect to see this horse show up in this spot, to say the least.
Yeah, I agree with you. However, if you do look at his race, July 15th, 2021, not a bad effort at 36-1. Look who you raced behind.
Who's Golden Pal? Is that horse any good?
I think so. I've heard of him. But Yeah, listen, the connections take shots. She's, he's been into graded stakes, finished third in a grade 3 at Saratoga behind Golden Pal. You never know. You never know. Obviously I assume they're brothers or father and son. I guess the other brother or the other son gets the horses when they're up north, and the other brother or son gets the horses when they're down south. So I'm not, wouldn't be concerned by that. But yeah, it's a bomber. But if a lot of people handicap and they look at horses that the horses that have been running against in prior races, and you see that Golden Pal third by or second by 3 lengths. Why not? You never know.
Yeah, you never know. So yeah, I think this horse would have to run the race of his life, but if he's up for it, we're going to find out. I think I'll probably be throwing away tickets if this horse wins, but with 13 or 12 other choices, I'm going to go elsewhere here than Omaha City. Let's get down to the pace of the race. In my opinion, True Valor, the 3-horse, Graham Motion trained, Lynch to ride. We've got a 105 early time form rating. I believe time form is probably the best in the business for me, giving early pace ratings and them being accurate. And so I'm going to trust the time form numbers. I like the inside draw for this True Valor horse. He'll be able to clear to the inside, get the rail. He's going to sit the absolute, best ground saving trip of any of the horses in the race. So we know he's not going to go wide. He was grade 1 place before, trying to go longer when this horse was out west. But ever since they've shipped this horse kind of back east, they've said, hey, let's get into sprinting. They sent this horse over to Dubai. And, the horse didn't really run that well over there, finished 6th, had Rosario up, comes back, an impressive effort over at Laurel, runs a 90 buyer. So really didn't lose a step. But who did that horse really beat? The horse was lone speed that day, was able to clear by 1.5 lengths at first call, and then it was a merry-go-round, won by 0.5 length at the end. I think this is your horse that maybe can get a little dangerous because the pace is going to be pretty slow. Or this horse is going to be up front and clear past Arrest Me Red even, if Irad doesn't choose to go grab the lead, because Arrest Me Red can also sit. And so I think that this horse is sneaky dangerous if they do what they do sometimes up at Naira, where all the jockeys just pull back and, hey, how slow are we going to go to the quarter? How slow are we going to go to the half? And let this horse just cruise on by like he's doing a breeze in the morning on a Saturday. Any love for this lone speed horse, Dylan?
I don't think Irad's going to relinquish the lead with the Arrest Me Red. I just think that horse could, typical Wesley Ward, sprinter, quick as hell. Certainly this 3's got some tactical speed. I don't think I actually like Lynch. He's a underrated jockey. I'm sure those that follow the Maryland circuit know he's a good jock. But I don't see him getting in a suicide pace on a suicide mission with the Arrest Me Red. But certainly tactical speed. He's going to be close up to the pace. Definitely getting better with age, without a doubt. Listen, that race in Dubai wasn't too bad. I finished 6th, but it was only a couple lengths back. I like where your head's at. That horse has a legit shot.
Yeah. So 12-1, not a bad price. I think you'll get all of that on race day. Now we're going to get into more popular horses. Casa Creed. Here we go. This horse actually has 2 races over in the Middle East to start the season. Lost by a neck, unfortunately, in the Turf Sprint Cup with Luis Saez aboard. You get Saez back again after those Middle East races. We've had plenty of time off since March. Now we're back for Belmont. He knows he always waits to get these horses ready. He doesn't send out something that's not right. And so Casa Creed, I would expect, is probably on a peak effort on Saturday. And, when we're going against those horses overseas and then we're coming back here, the competition could be tougher, especially on the grass. And so if we look last year, who won this race by 2? Casa Creed over Chewing Gum and Bound for Nowhere. And so if this horse repeats that effort, he ran 105 buyer last year. That's huge. And he hasn't done anything like that since. But if we look last year, that was his 3rd off the layoff effort. And so here we are again, 3rd off the layoff, should be getting a peak effort. We don't have speed figures for the races over in the Middle East, but if this horse improves off of last year, or even can run that same effort that we got last year, maybe this is a horse for course angle. He's 2 for 3 at Belmont, has never missed the board at Belmont. And so that's an angle you could definitely look at with the defending champion Casa Creed, which you're getting 9-2 on. It's not like this horse is going to be the favorite.
Yeah, and Casa Creed is probably going to be, I'm guessing, around that 3-1, 9-2 number. This is nothing negative about this horse. My only concern, and I really do, I'm a big mock guy. Those that know me on Twitter, Clement and Mod are my go-to on the turf. The only concern is, and I'd like to pull some stats on the first race off of Dubai or going down, traveling overseas, what those stats look like. That would be my only concern, that the horse might need a race. I don't see any published workouts on the racing form since he's been back. I just see the January. Are we on the same page? There's like a January work there. So I'd be anxious to see what the workouts look like, how he's doing health wise. But yeah, that's the only knock I have is the fact that he might need a race. But connections know better than I, and I think I don't think they would just put this horse in this race if they weren't confident. So take what you will.
Yeah. Yep, I would agree. Casa Creed will definitely be on my tickets. Let's go down to the Wesley Ward favorite, Arrest Me Red, that had a very impressive effort at Churchill Downs in the turf sprint. And I tried to spread that day. And what happens? Irad Ward beat me in a sprint. Surprise, surprise, surprise. This horse kind of threw in a clunker 2 back at Gulfstream. And I think we were actually at the track that day when Arrest Me Red lost. Yeah, lost to I Am Free. And we're like, yeah, maybe this horse isn't the goods going forward. Well, does Wesley send his best horses down to Gulfstream? I would say no. He usually keeps them in Kentucky, waits to debut them at Keeneland. Then the ones that run good at Keeneland go to Ascot, which is next week. And so Arrest Me Red definitely took a step forward last time out in the turf sprint, did not grab the lead. And so this horse actually showed a dimension that I really like to see in turf sprinters that you don't always see from Wesley Ward runners. It's not a complete need the lead type. I think this horse is actually probably going to get the lead. 114 early time form pace number. If this horse can clear True Valor, I think this horse could be gone. Now, it's going to be up to True Valor if he wants to press the issue and really, commit race suicide for True Valor to finish off the board if he tries to go with Arrest Me Red, because I think Arrest Me Red's going to try to go and have something left in the tank coming to the top of the stretch. And so, we're 3 for 3 last year. We're 1 for 2 this year. The horse is really, other than the one Gulfstream effort, hasn't done anything wrong. Can this horse take it to the next level and win a grade 1? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, what's up with the buyer jump? Look what Delacour was doing with this horse, buyer wise, and then Ward gets this horse, and you're talking about 20, 30 points on the buyer increase. That's amazing.
The last time I saw that was when Ben Colebrook sent Nick's Go to Brad Cox.
There you go.
So, a 30-point jump in the next start. That's unheard of.
It's insane. Yeah. But I think Irad, again, the lack of speed. This is one of the first turf races I've seen with a big field, and there's not much speed in it. It's just a rare thing. I would be shocked if we'll have to look at the conditions. We'll have to see how the pace scenario is going tomorrow and Saturday, what the track bias is. But I'd be extremely surprised if Arrest Me Red isn't on the lead, and where Irad is super aggressive, getting him out on the lead.
Yep. So we're going to get the giveaways announced later on in the show, guys. I know Razor Sharp had a question about that. So we're going to, once we get through the card, we're going to announce the giveaways, and we've got a lot on tap for that. So stay tuned. Arrest Me Red, I'm going to lean on pretty heavily because it's a paceless turf sprint and it's Wesley Ward. And so, damned if I do, damned if I don't with this horse. And so I'm not going to single this horse, but I'm going to probably press most of my money through the window through Arrest Me Red. Let's move down to the 6-horse Grace Creek. Paulo Lobo, horse used to be trained by Chad Brown. And I had a friend for like a year that chased this horse and said, Grace Creek's the next bricks and mortar. I'm like, no, yes, no. And he bet him every time he ran. And, Grace Creek, he won at Keeneland, he won at Gulfstream, but he never caught him on the days that he won. And now you're getting 30-1. There's, they've tried everything with this horse. They've tried dirt, they've tried turf, they've tried dirt sprinting, they've tried now turf sprinting. This horse ran 8th in the Diaper last year. Then he goes a mile and a 16th at Keeneland. What are they trying to do with this horse? I think they're really searching for something here. And, Paulo Lobo is a good trainer, especially on the turf. And he'll get you, some surprise 20, 30-1 shots that'll beat you sometimes, that'll make you scratch your head. I know I've been there many times at Keeneland. With Grace Creek, the horse possesses not sprinter speed. This horse is a little bit quicker going 2 turns than the rest of them. But as far as going 6 flat, I just don't think that he has the early kick. So, this horse is probably going to be sitting mid-pack, maybe 5th or 6th or 7th. And in order for this horse to win, he doesn't have a bad late pace figure. He's got a 103 late pace figure. So, the case I could make for this horse is if he has all that stamina from the mile and the 16th races over his career to go 6 furlongs, if the pace gets hot and he gets first run on the closers, maybe this horse steals the race, but it's not where my money's going to be going.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. My only concern is my concern that I'm still in the back of my head with T-Gaff. It's like I'll single the Ward horse, Rossi Red, and then T-Gaff from the Clouds. T-Gaff's got some. If you look at his races, and that's another angle. Looking at the jockey and the horse, I'm all about. I look at that angle. I think there's those sort of unforeseen things in life where it's an energy game, right? Where you have a certain jockey, a certain horse, they may have a good synergy going on, and you look at this and look at the better races for this horse, and guess who was on him? T-Gaff. But I don't know. I'm trying to this is definitely looks to be a 2-turn horse, and definitely needs like a little bit of a pace to run at. So. I don't know if this was just the race that was available to them, but this trainer is sneaky on the turf. So, if you're going deep in this race, this is one I would definitely include. Certainly, with my luck with T-Gaff, I'm on my secondary ticket. I'm definitely going to add this horse without a doubt.
Who knows? Maybe T-Gaff ends up being the first winning Bred sponsored jockey. That's how this is all gonna turn around. If you're wearing the winning Bred jockey pants.
If you read some of my tweets, I don't know about that. I'll have to delete my T-Gaff tweets.
There you go. All right, there's Grace Creek. Let's go down to the 7 horse for James Begg. What makes him run? Flavian Pratt, 20-1. I would have thought Flavian would have gotten a little bit better of a mount here. He's been in New York for a while, and obviously the turf is, I think, his best surface. And, he's had some battles with IRAD, which have been really fun to watch on both coasts so far this year. So, man, let's look at this horse's form. He's coming over from out west, was trained by Mark Glad. Okay. And they had him against a Rossi Red and Gregorian Chant that's also in this race, and he completely threw in a clunker. And real no excuse here. If we look at the trip notes there, 4-10 pressed, upper, no impact at all. And so this horse had no kick in the stretch. And I'm looking back, to some of these horses that have beat him, and I'm not that impressed. So when I have a horse like this, I try to look, okay, when they won, what went right for them in their efforts when they won? Well, it looks like it was at 6 furlongs with Pratt aboard, and it was dead closers in a 6-horse field. Well, we've got a 13-horse field with better closers. So that's my argument against the 7-horse here, is that he's going to be closing with a few of, the sprint specialists from the back of the pack that are just better than him. Okay. This horse would have to take a major improvement. And sometimes we see that in the figures when we're going from one trainer to the next. Any love for the 7-horse here?
I agree with most of what you said. Certainly, I don't know what transpired last race, other than the post position. Way outside is not good anywhere, especially Churchill. So maybe you could just draw a line through it. But he was 30-1, versus Rossi Red. However, in California, his closing times were really, really good, very competitive with the rest of this field. Closing at 6 furlongs, at 11 and a half is pretty quick consistently. But again, we're dealing with a situation where he's got to be close to the pace. There's not much pace in this race, and he's gonna have to lay a lot closer than normal. But numbers wise, as far as, like I said, closing kick, speed numbers, closing are definitely competitive with some of the better horses in this race.
Mm-hmm. There you go. So there's your case maybe for this horse. If we can get an improve on the trainer jump, if he can get the jump on the rest of the closers, and you got the jockey upgrade to Flavian Pratt. And I'll tell you what, he'll be scary leaving off of anybody's ticket at 20-1. I know that. We'll move down here to the New York horse, Scuttlebuzz. This horse popped a 101 last time out, and he beat Therapist. I mean, going 7 furlongs, we're shortening it up a little bit. Seems to appreciate 6 furlongs as well. I don't think it really makes a difference for this horse. But what I really liked about Scuttlebuzz last time out is they pulled the Lasix from him, and he actually ran better. I mean, this horse has been on Lasix his entire career. He gets a weight break, obviously, but he went Lasix off and popped a 101. Okay, maybe this horse doesn't bleed. He doesn't need Lasix, so we're not going to use Lasix again today, obviously, in this race. This horse is interesting to me. This is the horse that I think is going to come flying with the rest of the pack. And it's kind of like when you're watching a Gulfstream race and Pete Ayala says, who do you like here? When there's like 4 or 5 horses all coming in a line. Scuttlebuzz is going to be one of those horses. I think you're going to get higher than 6-1 on this horse as well.
He's sort of a wise guy horse. Definitely been facing the better New York breds. Mostly allowance. Obviously, we're dealing with graded stakes horses here, but this horse is improving. I mean, that I look at closing figures, especially in turf races. This horse has the best closing numbers out of any horse in this race, consistently, not just one every couple of races, but consistently closing under 12, 6 furlongs, 7 furlongs. And the key thing is here, he won off a layoff, that monster buyer. Now we're second off a layoff. Is it a bounce situation? Horse is pretty consistent, basically fires every race, but you're coming off a career buyer, at 101, closed at 12, under 12 seconds. Did that take anything out of him? But yeah, it's definitely a wise guy horse. Top 3 horse that I'm going to be playing in this race. One of my top 2 or 3 selections, and I really like this New York bred.
This horse owes us one, seriously, because you and I were all over Therapist last time out, and so he owes us one. I mean, there's plenty of horses and jockeys out there that owe me one. So maybe Scuttlebuzz will help us at least blow up our pick 5 a little bit at a decent mid price. He's going to have to step up in quality, obviously, coming out of Allowance Company, and now we're going to stakes. And so, but in these turf sprints, I'll tell you what, if this is the horse that gets the dream trip, Rudy Rod and Castellano, they're keeping Castellano on the horse for the last 3 efforts. And so I think everything's a green light for this horse. And, be wary if you're leaving this horse off your ticket, I would say.
Yeah, I agree. And not to cut you off there, Brady, but after this race, let's go over some of the contests. With the crew. And,
absolutely.
So we can.
If this race would ever end, I mean, there's 13 horses in the race. It's like, I mean, they may as well have brought the Royal Ascot, gate out here for 25. It's good to see a big field, though. Everybody's complaining about the short fields. Here we have a field of 13 in a turf sprint. What a better race for the gambler.
Yeah.
All right. The 9 horse, Filo di Ariana, Mark Cassie, Jose Ortiz. This horse was really highly regarded when they brought this horse to the U.S. Coming out of a huge effort at Woodbine, ran a 95 buyer, beat Gray's Fable and some others. And then we're like, okay, let's try Keeneland, put this horse in the Shakertown, ran against Golden Pal, which, bless anybody who tries that, and really threw in a clunker. And this horse was kind of tracking the pace, was in 4th in a field of 10, but you can kind of say this horse was in 3rd if you take Golden Pal out of the race because nobody was keeping up with him. And this race was against Johnny Unleashed and Gear Jockey. Gear Jockey's also in this race. So I don't know. Did Saya shut down this horse and save him for another day once they realized Golden Pal was absolutely loose and we weren't going to beat him? This is the second start with a year layoff from June of 2021 to April of 2022. This horse didn't run, so there could have been something wrong there. And so, this is one of those horses at 20-1 where I wouldn't be surprised if he popped and just absolutely ran back to that 95 buyer at Woodbine, or maybe improved on that effort. Something wasn't right in the last effort. And so I don't know. I may give this 20-1 shot a fighting chance.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? Like you said, there was definitely some chatter about this horse, prior to his Woodbine debut. There's definitely some physical, issues. It looks like just lightly raced, five races, 6-year-old. I don't know. I'm not really sure if they just took a shot, shipped them all, the Keeneland just to propel him to this race. I just, think the horse had some issues, was definitely looked a little clean, closer to the pace than normal. And just maybe you're right. Maybe Saez, you felt it wasn't his day and kind of gave up, very good possibility, but they bet him 13-1 in a grade 2 at Keeneland. And I'm sure, it was 10 horse field. So he did get some money. But wouldn't shock, like you said. And the workouts have been off the charts on the synthetic, but it definitely wouldn't shock me if this horse upsets the field.
Yep. I think this horse is, you either use him in a horizontal. I'm not going to use this horse underneath on a vertical, though. To me, this horse either fires or this horse runs 10th. And so that's how I'm going to approach the 9 horse. The 10, Smokin' Jay, for the Jay Cutler fans out there in the world. Kelsey Danner, Alvarado to ride. This is a horse that's also going to have to take a step up. Ran second to Karotari last time out at Pimlico on Preakness Day. And so I don't think the best turf sprinters went to Pimlico. We saw a lot of kind of, mid-level tier horses running there on Preakness Day. And so I think a lot of the good sprinters were, they ran in Kentucky in May, and now they were skipping Preakness, and now they're going to run at Belmont a month or 5 weeks later. And I just don't think Smokin' Jay really sets up well in this race. He's going to be sitting probably 6th or 7th. And so you're going to invite him into the party with all the other closers. And with his late figure ratings, I think that the 6 furlongs may be not as good as 5 furlongs is for him. I mean, look at this horse at 5. He likes it a little bit sharper. His figures are higher at 5 than they are at 6. He stays in the race a little bit more. He makes a little bit better sustained run going 5 furlongs than he does at 6. It seems like this horse just runs out of gas, even going 6 furlongs rather than 5. So for me, Smokin' Jay may want to lay off the 6 if he wants to improve his endurance going 6 furlongs.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm definitely not using this horse, and I'm sure the horse will beat me. Beat me at the wire. It's just too much to do. Like the buyers are light, a little cheap. This is increasing buyers, the last couple races, but I just don't see deep closers winning this race unless there's a lot of moisture on the turf, and the front runners are just not holding up. We'll have to see how things play out, but there's no speed in this race. There's 2 horses that are going to be out there, and I'm throwing out closers from this race. If a closer is going to beat me, so be it.
There we go. We've got a headline for the paper: Smokin' Jay smokes CEO as the Sunday paper headline.
There you go.
That's great.
I like that.
Yeah. Okay. So Smokin' Jay, I think that's one of the few horses that we're going to say probably
all in on Smokin' Jay, guys.
All in on Smokin' Jay, guys. Single. Yeah. The only way I'm getting to Smokin' Jay is an all button. And so if you're a proponent of the all button in this race, Smokin' Jay hopefully gets it home for you. Let's go to the 11 horse, Chasing Artie. This used to be a Wesley Ward trained horse. Now is with Saffie Joseph. And, I'm not a huge Saffie Joseph guy outside of the state of Florida, huge Saffie Joseph guy inside the state of Florida. If we just look at the statistics, him running in New York or him running in Kentucky compared to the Florida win percentage, it's not even close. And so, I'm not sure that his best always come up to New York. And I think a 15-1 is an appropriate price for this horse. But what happened with Wesley Ward? This horse won 3 times for Wesley Ward and really only threw in 1 clunker, which was his maiden special weight. This horse has beat that Fauci horse that we're not going to talk about. I didn't really like that horse. I think that was a little bit of an overrated Wesley Ward runner before. Has run against, Jackson Traveler, Out of Door, which I was a huge fan of 2 years ago. Yeah, great horse. And, this is another horse where you got to make a case for him. He's, he can be near the lead. I think he actually prefers it. It shows a late pace figure because he's missed the break twice. So I think when I'm looking at these pace figures, I'm going to say that the late number is a little bit overstated and the early number is understated because those 2 efforts where he missed the break, he was dead last. And so, of course, he was going to make up a lot of ground. And last time he missed the break, and then he also missed the break up at Woodbine, and he ran 3rd that day. So, this horse, I think he'll be closer than people think. He may be sitting 3rd, even though the time form numbers don't agree with it.
Yeah, if you don't follow, if you're not a buyer person, you may like this horse. If you can throw out, obviously he stumbled his last race, so completely throw a line through that race. And every other race he's fired. Like I said, if you follow buyers, you're going to throw this horse out. If you don't follow buyers, you're going to use them because he basically fires every race, and or he has, aside from his issues last start, and he's been right there. I get the smaller fields, 7-horse fields, but I kind of thought this horse was sneaky. This horse can go, like you said, Brady. This horse does have some tactical speed. He can probably go 22. And I think they're going to get from the outside post. JR is going to get more aggressive with him, keep him closer to the pace. But this horse is kind of sneaky. I'm definitely, I look at buyers, and he's definitely a notch, a few notches below the average buyers in this race, which are probably in mid-low 90s. Yeah, this horse another one that wouldn't surprise me. You throw out last race where he had some issues, and in fact, you could have claimed him at Turfway Park. It looks like for what is that, 150,000, or which would have been a nice claim. But I'm definitely going to use this one in my deeper pick 5 ticket.
There you go. All right, there's the argument on Chasing Artie. Let's go down to Gear Jockey, which is a horse that they didn't know was actually best at sprinting until they tried sprinting and won his first sprint race at Saratoga, and then the rest is history. They haven't sent this horse 2 turns ever since in his last 8 efforts. This horse has been beating up against the best sprinters. I mean, if we just look at his running lines and his resume, we're going grade 2, grade 2, grade 3, grade 1, grade 3, grade 3. So this horse, obviously class prevails here if Gear Jockey wins. You're going to get 6-1. Jose Lascano, who I think is way better on the turf than he is the dirt. And, look at this horse's running style. It's kind of the perfect to make his own trip every single time. Seldom does this horse actually get into trip trouble because he sits nice, tactfully in and behind the speed. Horse is never on the lead. He's never coming from way out of it. And so I think Gear Jockey at 6-1 makes a ton of sense here. The outside post is tough. We talk about that every single time we get a big field in a turf sprint. You don't really want to be outside the 9 post in these turf sprints unless you're the true speed of the speed and you can clear. Well, we know that this horse isn't the speed of the speed. We know he's not going to try to clear. We know he just wants to sit probably 4th or 5th right behind the speed, and he's probably going to be the widest of any horse in this field. And so for that reason, I'm not a huge supporter of Gear Jockey, but it's kind of one of those horses where I'm going to use as kind of a backup.
Yeah, I agree with you, Brady. I think the 6 furlongs is like the perfect distance for this horse. I think he really needs that extra half furlong. I've wagered on Gear Jockey quite a few times, and not with much success, but I know this horse is a machine when it comes to workouts. And as you know, I follow. I'm a workout guy. On top of my other angles, but listen, he's going to be wide. But another concern, like I said, he's a closer. He's definitely going to be a little bit closer to the pace, but I like Gear Jockey. I like the fact that he's that he's getting an extra half furlong to 6, which is what he needs. But I don't see a horse that's 5-6 lengths back winning this race. I'm just not seeing it.
I would agree. So there you go on Gear Jockey. If he drew an inside post, I think I like this horse a lot better than I do on the 12. Last horse to round out this field is the 13 Gregorian Chant. Man, I was all over this horse on Derby Day, and unfortunately, Arrest Me Red was just too much. Joel was trying to come up the rail on this horse, had him way too far back. This is one of those horses that if the pace can get hot. Now, the pace doesn't look hot on paper, but how many times the Derby didn't look hot on paper? And the 2 Japanese horses created one of the fastest Derby paces of all time. And so some of these horses change over time too. They have different preferences on maybe they want to be more forwardly placed, or maybe they just kind of want to lope along in the back. This is a horse that's going to make one run. And I think if he wouldn't have had a little bit of trouble splitting horses, he may have gotten to Arrest Me Red. This was a horse that I would have cashed huge on Derby Day. And so I think I'm going to get a nice price again at 8-1. I think this horse is the goods. And I think if he would have had that extra half a furlong at Churchill Downs, I think he could have beat Arrest Me Red. And so for that reason, I'm getting an extra half a furlong. We're going against the same competition. I like Gregorian Chant a lot.
Yeah, listen, it's a horse that you followed and you've wagered on, and you know this horse a lot more than I have. I can't say, I obviously remember his last race against Arrest Me Red, but the horse is ultra consistent and should be closer to the pace. His closing numbers are top 3 in the field. So if he is within a couple lengths, top of the stretch, he definitely has a legit chance. It's just, we'll have to see. D'Amato, West Coast trainer, this is his game. The turf sprints, that's his specialty. And just another factor is can you trust Joel? Is Joel going to be able to time it properly? I'm having that same mental war in my brain with Gufo. Is Joel going to time it right? Is he going to move too early? Is he going to wait way too long? So that's just what you're dealing with right now. But from my experience, the big days that Joel usually shows up. So I'm expecting his A game on tomorrow and Saturday.
Absolutely. I would say, I'm going to use this horse in the horizontals. I love the price at 8-1, but along with that, I'm going to try to use this horse also in second and third in the verticals. I think this horse is a lock for the try, because he's going to make that one sustained run that, Joel closes better than anybody else in the game. Turf sprints are his specialty when he's on his game. And so, if you're looking for a horse, let's say you have a really strong opinion on the winner. Let's say you think you really like Gear Jockey or you really like Arrest Me Red, and you're going to try to find a way to get creative in the verticals. I would look at Gregorian Chant to try to run second or third, because you just know that he's going to get that run at the end.
Brady, I know you're big into win bets, would you possibly take a shot here if the value is right? Place bet, show bet, $1,000 show bet.
If we're starting a show parlay, this would absolutely be the horse that I would use, because Arrest Me Red isn't going to hardly pay you anything in that. Gregorian Chant's going to get you double or triple what Arrest Me Red is going to get you in any of the pools. And so I think this would be my selection. Absolutely.
You get 2-1 maybe on the show.
In a 13-horse field?
Yeah.
That's not bad. And in a contest situation, who knows? There's 2 contests going on this weekend. That Naira's running a contest. It's a $5,000 buy-in, and I believe it starts tomorrow. It's Friday and Saturday, and I believe Express Bet's doing their usual competition for $1,500 on Saturday. And so maybe we'll see some of the viewers' names pop up in those contests. The contest strategy is going to be really difficult, and I'm still kicking myself for not playing the Santa Anita contest on Memorial Day, when Irad flew all the way out there and kicked Flavian's ass every single time. I had a huge bet on what was the horse? The D'Amato horse. D'Amato had 3 in the race. It's leaving me right now, but the horse beat Smooth Like Straight. And, my plan was just to play a huge exact in the contest. I'm sitting on my couch. I'm like, it's race 5. It's the last race to enter the contest. Let's just not play the contest today. And then, of course, the horse airs.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Irad's your boy, man. You got to live and die with him.
He is. Either that or I've got to get a new license plate. So, all right, guys. Thanks for sticking around with us. We're going to announce our first contest. And then what we're going to do is we're going to post in the chat the link to the page where you guys are going to be able to sign up for the contest. You're going to be able to register for that. It's just an easier way to help us track who's winning and who's not. And so there it is right there. It's in the chat. Click on that Google Docs to go sign up. And what our first contest is going to be is we want you to pick a jockey, any jockey, and the number of wins, okay? All the rules are in the contest page on the Google Docs, but we want to know which jockey you like and how many wins you think Irad Ortiz is going to have, Jose Ortiz, maybe even Sonny Leon. He's got a couple of mounts, the Derby winning jockey. He's never run at Belmont before, and we've got everybody there. How many do you think Rosario is going to win? And then our next contest,
just win on Gufo and I'll be happy. One win will be all I need.
Great. I say we may be going to the Sizzler if he throws an anchor on Gufo. The next contest is trainer and number of wins. So let us know if you like Todd Pletcher for 4 wins on the day, or if you like Chad Brown to absolutely have a monster day. Let us know. Click on that Google Docs. We're going to keep on posting that in the chat. We're going to post it on our Twitter. And so be sure to follow along there. Please register for all the contests, and then we can announce the winners after the races have concluded and present you guys your prizes there. So if you guys have any questions on the contest, just shoot us a message on the chat. But first one was jockey and number of wins, and then trainer and number of wins. So
now if anybody on the chat can give us feedback to let us know if that link is clickable, or can you copy paste it just to double check?
Yeah.
Want to make sure it works properly so someone can DM us back or send us a chat. That'd be great. Really
and then
it.
To clarify for everybody, it's a 2-day total. And so we're starting it tomorrow. So you're going to want to get signed up tonight and do the 2-day total for the trainers and the jockeys. And that's a 2-day total of amount of wins. So if anybody has any questions, just shoot it to us. We're going to do some nice giveaways. And we've got more coming later on. So please sign up. We'll post that everywhere so you guys can't miss it. All right.
We're going to be doing tickets, by the way. We're going to be doing free win bets. We'll make a list of the contests and what everyone's going to be playing for with the trainer and the jock contest. We also have we just got in stock some really cool Winning Bred polo shirts and T-shirts. So we're going to be giving out some swag as well. So yeah, it's going to be really, really cool.
Yep. And another contest that we're going to have is Team CEO versus Team Chalk. Who do you like? You like my picks or you like CEO's picks? And you guys are going to be able to choose which team you want to be on. Okay. And what we're going to be giving away there is a percentage of our Pick 5 tickets. Okay. And so me and Dylan are going to do a head-to-head contest and see who comes out on top. And so who do you like, Team CEO or Team Chalk? So also make sure you go click the link to sign up for that contest as well.
Yeah. And we're most likely we're going to be doing, it looks like we're going to be doing 3 different Pick 5 tickets. Each ticket, we're going to invest $250. So whatever winnings, or if one of us wins and you're on the right team, you get a percentage of all the winnings. If it pays $10,000, you get a piece. If it pays $100,000, you get a piece. If it pays $100, I don't know. We might bury our head in the sand. But yeah, it's pretty exciting that we're going to be able to share some of the proceeds, and I'm pretty confident that one of us, or if not both of us, are going to hit our Pick 5s, as well as we're going to have this third ticket where everyone is going to be able to give us their top choices, and then we're going to average everything out from each race and come up with a ticket based upon your selections.
There we go. It looks like everybody's saying the link works, and we've seen like about 25 people just left immediately to go sign up, and then they're going to come right back to the show. Here we go again. So thanks everybody for signing up for that. Please, if you haven't, we'll talk about it and post it again at the end. So, and if you're having any trouble with it, send us a DM on Twitter, and we'll try to troubleshoot it with you. All right, let's get back to the Pick 5 here. And, this is kind of the most anticipated race for like the last 6 months, because it seems like that's all the more that Flightline runs. And so, I mean, this horse has probably been in bubble wrap ever since the Malibu, which was an ultra impressive effort. Here we go. Flightline, this is the horse everybody wants to see. Maybe this is the fastest horse in the world. Can Sadler ship? I think that's my main question. That is the only thing, the only reservation I have on Flightline is, can John Sadler successfully ship across the country? We've had some trouble with that over his career. Is this horse going to just be too good to overcome it? And so, 134 early time form number, that is just blitzing the front.
Unheard of. Yeah.
Unheard of, man. And this is a mile, and he's stretching out an extra furlong, which I don't think anybody would say that that's a disadvantage for this horse. It's still one turn. And with the works at this horse, Dylan, you're a huge work guy. This horse has been putting in some amazing works of recent.
Insane. Yeah. His workouts are probably all 100 buyer workouts. It's this horse is, as we all know, I don't have to, talk about it, but the horse is a freak. But yeah, he's traveling outside his territory. As Brady alluded to, can he travel? Can Sadler make it happen? Because historically, he doesn't have. I don't know what his exact stats are. I'd be interested to see what those numbers look like. But I love this horse, as do most, and I'm going to be singling him in my doubles and pick 3s, pick 5, pick 6s, and there's going to be a nice win bet coming from possibly a mortgage payment coming from my bankroll.
I love it.
If he doesn't win, though, I'm going to be a disappearing act. So if anybody's looking for me, you know why.
There you go. Yeah, this horse, he's ready to fire. This horse has never won a race by less than 11 lengths. Double digits. He's running up the score. Yeah, geared down as well. So this is a race where I'm not going to be betting vertically. I'm just going to be spectating. I'm going to use this horse, obviously, very skinny in horizontals. Flightline, hammer ticket all day long. But this is one of those races for me where I'm just going to just try to admire greatness here, because I don't really think I can get a whole lot of value playing a Flightline over Speaker's Corner Exacta, or even a Flightline over Speaker's Corner over Happy
West.
Saber Try or Aloha West. So, this race is pretty much for us, Flightline and move on. Let's make a case for Speaker's Corner. This horse has done
West.
Okay, we can get to Aloha West as well.
Go ahead.
Speaker's Corner has done nothing wrong. Just flashed 114 buyer on an effort where he actually got past, in the Carter. He was headed, and then he got the lead, and then absolutely broke away. That was in April. We've had a little bit of time off. This horse, I feel like the Gulfstream contingent wasn't the greatest this year. And the New York contingent's been solid, but now we got maybe the fastest horse in the world coming to face him. And yeah, Speaker's Corner's fast, but I just don't know if he's not even close to Flightline's fast. Flightline's going to be 4 ahead of this horse in the first 10 steps. It's going to be like Life is Good versus Knicks Go in the Pegasus this year. That's how I see this race kind of panning out. Speaker's Corner's Knicks Go, and Flightline is Life is Good.
Yeah, I agree with you. My only concern, very minimal concern, if there is a little bit of a duel. Speaker's Corner is a very fast horse, as we know. I don't think nearly as fast as Flightline, but we have to take into consideration what the track bias is, even on the dirt. That's going to be interesting. Aloha West beat me in the Breeders' Cup. Dr. Shivel on that head bob, which obviously I'll never forget. It was a 6-figure inch. I still think Dr. Shivel won that race, but the photo showed otherwise. But that horse, if any horse is going to beat me, I don't think it's Speaker's Corner. I think Aloha West is going to second off. If the slight chance he does get a trip and there's there's a little bit of a duel up front, which very unlikely. Aloha West would be the horse, and I am on a smaller pick 5 ticket. I'm going to be playing 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm. So I think what Aloha West has to prove to me is that he can get a mile, because he's never done it before. And so maybe this horse is going to appreciate it. I don't think he's appreciated his 7 furlong races as much as he has his 6 furlong races. And so I think you're right. Pace collapse. This is the horse that's going to be coming running, probably better than the rest of them. So you're saying that if Speaker's Corner and Flightline just absolutely douse each other on the front end, Like we're going 20-5 or 20-4, and then 43 flat to the half mile, and then all of a sudden the wheels fall off. Aloha West is going to be the one rolling down the middle of the track.
Yeah, exactly. And he's by hard spun. So, obviously the breeding is there. Spitestown on the bottom, more of a sprinter, 6'7" furlong. But listen, as we know, they're animals. You just never know. I know my heart is definitely set on Flightline, and just as a fan of the sport. But I might, if I'm going to play exactas or tries not in that race, I'm definitely going to go 1-3, like a straight Aloha West for second, and hope Speaker's Corner doesn't run.
If you beat Flightline here, you're going to get paid bomb. I mean, just buckets of money. But I think something would have to go completely wrong for that to happen. Let's go down here to Happy Saver, which I think is a good horse. Has always kind of underperformed though. This is kind of like the best loser. This horse loves running second. He'll take money every single time he runs, and then he'll just have somebody else beat him. And so to me, this isn't a win candidate. This is probably somebody that I think would finish third in this race. Nothing better than that for Happy Saver for me.
Yeah. He cashes checks. Wouldn't mind owning that horse. Almost $900,000 in 9 races, or a little bit over $800,000. But he does cash checks. Not a bad horse to own. But it would definitely be a huge shocker if this horse upsets the field.
All right, there's Happy Saver. Then the 5-horse Informative, 50-1 Morning Line. I'd probably give him 100-1 if you guys wanted to book it with me. So let me know. But this horse, I mean, come on, he's in over his head here. Going to the Met Mile, I think they're just trying to throw a dart against a wall with a blindfold on.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I'm already on Gufo. Yeah. I'm sorry, Brady.
We're already on Gufo. All right, guys, moving on to the Manhattan. And this is going to be, I think, the race that determines the contest on Saturday. Because if it does chalk out like everybody's thinking, if Latruska wins, if Flightline wins, if Arrest Me Red wins, how are people going to make money other than playing $50 straight pick fours and $1,000 daily doubles? Which that's probably how we're going to be playing because it's going to be the only way to make money on Saturday. But if you can find the winner in this race, I think you're going to have a very spread betting board. Santon's coming out of a great race. Gufo's coming out of where he got upset by there's that Highland Chief last time out, who's also in this race. And then we've got a couple
move. Joel,
it was Rosario. It was jockey error. He went too early. He got past in the stretch. And we've got 3 Chad Brown runners, including the Rock Emperor. That dude's like a relic now. I mean, he is. He threw in one effort, which I'll talk about when we get to this horse. But I think he could be pretty scary. The first horse that we're going to talk about is L'Imperador. This is a Chad Brown horse that Eric Cancel gets the mount on. The lucky boy. This horse, to me, he beat Sacred Life, which is a horse that I don't like. And so it really doesn't do anything for me. And Glenn County just ran, I think, last week on the off track at Belmont in the Fort Marcy. This horse went gate to wire. He's running against way better in this race. If we look at 2-back, he ran in a grade 3 at Tampa Bay, lost to Cheryl Spike, Get Smoking, and Floriform. And so he wasn't even in the conversation with those horses to try to be a win contender. His last win came against Temple, who is a rat. I mean, that horse hasn't ran good since before 2 Pegasuses ago. And I mean, that horse is a hanger. And so congrats. You beat a hanger. You lost a Sacred Life and Field Pass. This horse for me, it's another one of those situations where Chad's entering 3 in the race. What are the tactics going to be on this horse? He doesn't have any speed, except he showed a ton of speed last time out. So it's like, did this horse all of a sudden just wake up? Is this the horse that's going to go to the front and show that he's just going to go as far as he can? I think he probably. I didn't watch that race. I have to watch a couple of these races this evening and tomorrow. He might have just inherited the lead. It was so. I mean, it was yielding, but they were crawling at 52, and they're going about 26 every quarter. So maybe it probably just inherited the lead, and just I don't think you're not going to see this horse. There's definitely horses that are much faster than a 26-52 half. Exactly. Yep. So I think maybe this horse, maybe he'll try to send and try to create a little bit more pace, but I don't think Chad wants to do that because who do we got running behind him? We got your boy Gufo. I mean, this horse, dude, this has been a really cool horse the last few years. Always tries, always throws in his effort. Other than the Breeders' Cup, I mean, this horse hasn't missed the board since when? Ever? I mean, this horse is an absolute model of consistency. Yeah, he's 15 of 16 hitting the board on the turf. And so this horse runs his race every single time, 124 late time figure. We don't need to introduce Gufo to you guys. You guys already know who he is. This is going to be a major win candidate for me. And Dylan, I want you to talk a little bit about why last time didn't work out with the timing of Rosario's ride when he got beat by Highland Chief. Oh. Did we lose him? I think we lost a mic. Okay. Can you guys hear me? Looks like our sound just went. We're going to try to troubleshoot that real quick, guys. Just 1 second. Okay, can you guys hear? Okay, they can hear me. Dylan, they can't hear you. Try hitting your settings real quick. Try to figure out the mic. Try hitting the settings in the bottom left. So, okay, you guys can hear me. I'll keep on talking. What happened last time with Gufo was Rosario just moved a little bit prematurely and just ran out of time. Dylan, I think we've got you back.
Testing?
Now. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we're back. So
I don't know what happened. My apologies.
No worries. We were just talking about how Rosario moved just a little bit too soon. And, you know, I compare Gufo's running style to kind of like Warlike Goddess. She needs a target. Gufo needs a target. And if you inherit the lead too early and you're a deep closer, you're going to get a little bored and a little distracted in the stretch run. And then that's when somebody like a Highland Chief passes you in the stretch. So hopefully Rosario got that out of his system. He's going to wait. And then when he thinks he's about ready to go, hopefully he waits another 3 seconds and then he goes. And then
Gufo Mike Jinx. I love it.
So
Gufo and I are in the vortex right now. So we're in another dimension right now, Gufo and I.
Chris is saying, pay your electric bill.
If Gufo loses, I might be in South America somewhere. So yeah,
there we go. We posted the link again for the contest, guys. Thanks for everybody that signed up. We've got a bunch of signups already. So, make sure you want to be a part of that for the giveaways this weekend. Let's talk about the 3-horse Tokyo Gold here. You know, this is a horse where, you know, he was running overseas. They brought him over here for the Belmont Derby and ran a respectable second against Brioche Ballet. And then didn't run as great of a race against Yabir in the next race. And then we know what happened with Yabir. He went on to win the Breeders' Cup Turf. Which was kind of a surprise to me. Then they sent this horse back overseas. Really didn't do much. You get a 30-1 morning line, which I trust David Aragona a lot on the morning line. I think he's probably the best in the business at these. So if he's not respecting a horse, I typically am like, okay, you know, if I was kind of on the fence about it, then it helps me get a little bit easier of an idea on if I'm going to toss him or not. And I'm trying to make a case for him. I think if you get some moisture in the ground, if we go 5 races back, to looks like the Italian Derby, he really relished a good going over there. And so, you know, maybe that's what this horse needs. But, you know, I think that's probably the only thing. If we get some rain, maybe upgrade Tokyo Gold a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with you. And Barry's a fan. Barry C likes this horse. He did, looks like in 2021, he was 17-1 and made a nice run, lost by a length. And yeah, like you said, a lot of these European horses, they love the moisture, the off turf. So yeah, we'll see how things play out.
Cindy's going to single Tokyo Gold as a cold single on one ticket.
Wow.
Cindy, you may be scooping the pool. If you can, are you trying to beat Flightline and single Tokyo Gold? You may be taking home a couple mil. Good luck, Cindy. Good luck with that. If Tokyo Gold wins, we'll be thinking about you. Yeah. So,
amazing.
You have his previous jockey coming over to ride him. So they must have this horse highly regarded. Maybe just some things have gone wrong in the past. But as far as my press tickets, which I'm not spreading a whole lot this week, Tokyo Gold's probably not going to make the cut. Let's talk about the 4-horse Adamo. This is a Chad Brown runner that I pressed heavy on Derby Day. Lucky I used Santine as a backup that got home. But, this horse really didn't impress me. And I think at 4-1, I don't want any part of this horse at 4-1. I wanted this horse at like 6-7-1, but it is Chad Brown. It is Flavian Pratt. Usually Chad's horses run a little bit better coming overseas than this one has on debut and in a second effort. Maybe he just wants 1.25 miles, and so they're going to stretch him out, as he's gone 1.25 miles distance before. And so I just don't have a whole lot of respect for this horse, and you're going to get it. I mean, he's going to be hammered at the window with Pratt and Chad and the connections and everything. And so from a price perspective, I'm not interested in Adamo. Do I think he could win? Yes, but I'm going to probably play against this 4-horse. Okay,
it's valid. Not taking anything away. I think this horse definitely needs a stronger pace to go at. Not a shitload, pardon my language, not a ton of pace in this race. But this horse better than me. And obviously, what do we have? 3 Chads in this race?
Yes, 3 Chads. We got Rock Emperor, Adamo, and Player Door.
Okay. Okay, interesting. The horses are going to be probably around that 4-1 number. Pick your poison,
Exactly. Yeah, and I thought this horse was going to run a good effort last time out. I mean, this horse should have won at Fairgrounds, but unfortunately, Cavalry Charge was up the rail. This horse goes off Lasix again and runs, I guess a respectable third to Santine. I just expected a better effort last time. And so, I with the price that I know that this horse is going to be, I'm probably not going to be pressing.
Yeah, it looks like it was he was up against a slow pace. It was a little bit of a layoff, a few months. I'm not trying to give any excuse. I'm just I have to look at the race, and no Lasix. Ran a good race with Lasix prior race. This is a horse that I want to watch his prior races to see who I'm going to play underneath Gufo.
There you go. So it looks like this is Daniel's single of the weekend. Daniel, you stick with your strong opinions, man. That's how we're going to get paid this weekend. If you think this horse is the winner, you play him, man. I missed Domestic Spending too. This is the race I thought Domestic Spending would come back to. We need an update on how that horse is doing because he's been off since before Breeders' Cup, which I thought
we'll reach out to Chad
last year.
We'll reach out to Chad tonight and we'll see. We'll hopefully get an update.
All right, the 5-horse In Love, Paulo Lobo. This horse made a lot of noise at Keeneland in the Turf Mile. Popped a 104 buyer against horses like Some Like It Hot Brown. I think this horse, he's a true miler. That's my problem with In Love. I love the price. I'm in love with the price at 15-1, but doesn't this horse just want to go a mile? And we're going 1.25 miles here. And this would be the longest distance this horse has ever traveled. And, if we look at his previous efforts going longer, he's had a little bit of success. But, as far as a grade 1 type, I think this horse is like a Breeders' Cup miler type, like he went last year. I'm not really sure why we're trying the 1.25 miles. Maybe it's just the purse is big and they think that this horse can maybe get a piece. But I would prefer this horse going shorter than 1.25 miles, maybe like 1 mile or 1 1/16 personally.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody on chat knows about the anything about the breeding here. Looks like there's some Sunday silence. How often do you see Sunday silence? A horse out of Sunday silence on here. I mean, it looks like he could definitely go some distance. This horse has got some serious closing numbers. When I was handicapping the race yesterday, I mean, he's closing at 22, 22 and change, virtually every race. So again, can he go the distance? Big question. But if he does get the pace, he's got some serious turn of foot.
Yep, no denying that at all. So we'll see if maybe he can get the distance and if he's going to be with the ones coming late. I think a lot of times people see a closer and they're like automatically, man, this horse wants more distance. And sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not. That's for you to decide. All right, we're going to go to the 6 horse, the Rock Emperor, 10-1. I love this price. And let me tell you why this horse is going to be on my hammer ticket and my spread ticket. And it's not because Irad's riding. I promise you that. Let's look 4 races back. Look at what this horse did. He popped a 103 buyer in the Turf Classic at Belmont, October 9th, 2021. This race kind of came out of some good form. This horse was trending well. And then all of a sudden, Chad Brown wins at 15-1 for first. And then his 10-1 shot got second, served the king. And it absolutely blew up the exacta. I forget what it paid that day, but it was in the, in the hundreds for a Chad over Chad exacta. And so if this horse, who has not been in great current form, I don't know what happened last time out in the Fort Marcy, but we're bringing him back. This is a distance specialist. This is kind of like the lone rock for turf.
Good analogy. Great analogy.
Yeah. And so you're going to get all of that, probably 8 to 10-1 on this horse. People don't like betting this horse because so many times early in this horse's career, he was bet to like odds on and just didn't show up. Now, I have this horse that I used to be playing at even money. Now I'm getting 10-1 on him. He's going his preferred distance. You get Ortiz up. This is the other Madacat Stables horse in the race. And he's also, this horse can close. This horse can sit tactically. This horse also should have another win under his belt. But unfortunately, Irad did some rough riding out west and he got DQ'd. And so that was actually against
Brad,
I believe. Yeah. And so I threw away a ticket there. So I'm not saying Rock Emperor owes me one, but it sure would be nice. And at 10-1,
Irad, Chad's got 3-4 horses in this race, and Irad is on this one. So the horse is definitely live, without a doubt.
And this is another horse where I expect him to win, or I expect him to run dead last. And so I'm not going to be using the Rock Emperor in any verticals for second or third. That's just not how this horse runs. If he shows up with his stuff, he's good enough to win. And if he doesn't show up, he's probably going to finish, 30 lengths back of Gufo. But yeah, keep an eye out for the Rock Emperor. I mean, if I do play the contest on Saturday, I think this is a horse that I will probably try to key to get a nice score vertically.
Brady, if you want to just reiterate what the contest on Saturday, you said there's one with Express Bet, and I'm not even aware of these contests, but I'd like to play. But so there's one with Naira and Express Bet.
Yeah, the one with Naira. It starts tomorrow, and so it's a $5,000 buy-in and a 2-day tournament with Naira. So they're actually seeding the pool with $50,000 of bonus money. And so, steep entry, kind of like a normal year Pegasus entry, but man, it's a great tournament to play. And then I believe Express Bet is having their normal $1,500 Saturday contest where it's live bankroll. You have $1,000 bankroll, $500 entry to get you to $1,500, and you have to make 5 plays of 100 or more. And it's the normal one that they do on most of the big days. And so if I participate, that's probably the one that I'm going to play in. I'm still regretting not playing a Memorial Day weekend. You guys are going to hear me cry about that for like the next 6 months. But I would already have my Pegasus seat and my NHC seat already wrapped up. But, whenever I don't play a tournament, it's like I have one of the best cash betting days of the year. So, like, let's take Keeneland last fall. I didn't play the Keeneland fall tournament, and I ended up beating the winner by 10 grand that day. And it's like I was just playing daily doubles and exactas. I'm like, why didn't you play the contest? Yeah, who's plays tournaments? We'd like to see you guys in the tournaments. See Winning Bred, Faithful up near the top of the leaderboard, and hopefully we're there too, Dylan.
Yeah, absolutely. Answer a couple chats. Pedlo, I have the Lightning for the series, so I haven't even checked the scores.
It's 1-1. We got 4 minutes left.
And 4 minutes in the game?
Yeah, 4 minutes left in the third period, 4:45.
Wow.
So
wow. Okay.
Keep us updated on the games, guys. Yeah, I've got Lightning for the series as well.
Let's go. Come on, Lightning.
All right. Hey, I was wrong. They got 4 Chad Brown horses in this race. Tribhuvan. Who could forget Tribhuvan? What is this?
Guys, I apologize. I excuse myself for 2 minutes. My dog is going a little crazy. So
don't worry. I would love to talk about Trip Huven. This horse, the only thing good I think you can say about this horse's previous form is that domestic spending had to run him down last year at Belmont. And so, this horse has been grade 1 placed. It feels like a rabbit to me, especially with 4 Chad Browns in the race. And so, Franco stays aboard this horse again after last time out in the Turf Classic. And going a mile and an eighth, the horse really didn't have anything in the stretch. And so we're going against similar company here, Santon, Adamo, and then some other ones like Gufo that are going to be really running him down in the stretch, which couldn't catch him in the domestic spending race last year. This horse to me is just kind of a average speed and fade type. 8-1, I think he should be a lot higher than that. He's going to try to take this field as far as he can. But I think the class and the late closing kick of these closers is going to overcome any type of pace that this horse could set on the front end. But, that's why they run the race. And, going a mile and a quarter, a lot of things can happen. Horse can get loose. This horse, I expect, this is Sister Charlie had, what was that horse's name? Thais. That was her rabbit for years. And so I saw Trip Huven as domestic spending's rabbit. And I think once a rabbit, always a rabbit, unless you're coming back down to like grade 3 or allowance company. And so for me, in this spot, Trip Huven doesn't make sense. Maybe I'd like to play him in a softer spot, especially if I'm getting a better price on Rock Emperor than I am Trip Huven. I'm getting 10-1 on Rock Emperor, only getting 8-1 here. Magic asks, when are we going to start our own swags? We've got swag, and that's going to be coming out here this weekend, guys. We've got a bunch of swag that we're going to start showing you guys, on a weekly basis and having contests to win that. So stay tuned, Magic. It's coming very, very shortly.
Yeah, we'll post some pictures on Winning Bred of the new swag. It's definitely really, really high grade polo shirts, t-shirts, hats. Yeah, you guys are going to love it.
All right. We're down to Highland Chief, which is the last horse to defeat Gufo, which we talked about earlier. McCarthy stays aboard for Grand Motion. Dylan, this horse jumped from an 84 to a 105 buyer. Would you say that this horse probably ran the race of his life last time and maybe is a bounce candidate?
Yeah, it's interesting. This horse is off the pace, and maybe they just wanted to change his the way he runs, just tactically. To date, that's the race of this horse's life. Of course, I just don't see another effort like this. Disheartening. I had a huge, not just a win bet, but I had pick 3s, pick 5s, everything with Gufo. It was definitely one that. You always remember the losses, right? Like it happened yesterday. But Grant, and it's ironic that when I have a Clement horse that I'm in love with and I single him, the one trainer that beats me, it's like T-Gaff with most of my races. He's the one that beats me, or if I need him, I single him as a favorite, no chance. It's Grand Motion almost every time that gets me.
And last time this horse was like 20-1, and so now everybody's going to be betting this horse because they're going to see in the form this horse beat Gufo last time. But if you don't watch the race and don't know that Rosario moved too soon, we wouldn't be talking about that. And so
I don't think this horse is going to be 6-1. I think that double digits on that horse. They're going to see
that's what I would need to play him.
I
think we would both agree that this is probably a toss horse for us.
Yep.
All right, now we get down to Santon, who is coming in with great form, won the Turf Classic in a battle down the stretch with Mirror Mission. T-Gaff was just a little bit stronger than Julian that day. And, to T-Gaff or to not T-Gaff. I mean, this horse has to be on everybody's tickets, right? I mean, this horse can beat you, I think, tactfully, like he sat close last time out. He was a little bit pressing of the speed. But then this horse can also sit back in 7th or 8th and make one run and try to mow you down. So I think the versatility that Santon brings to the table is going to be a huge asset, that he kind of makes his own trip, and got to love those horses. Brendan Walsh in these types of races recently has been awesome. He just won the big one out at Santa Anita last week on Memorial Day. And he beat 2 of the heavy chalks that D'Amato had going global and going to Vegas. And so, I think Brendan Walsh is a guy that if you're not paying attention to him yet, you better wake up and start paying attention to this guy, because he'll just surprise you sometimes. And so at 7-2, I think that's a fair price on Santon. Not going to be like a win bet for me, but it's going to be something that I'm definitely not going to leave him off in the horizontals.
Yeah, everything. I agree with everything Brady alluded to. Versatile, does have some. He can be on the lead if he needs to. He's increased buyer almost every race that he's been in. He's improving. Very, very impressive. Closing times are ultra competitive with this field. Mm-hmm. He's lightly raced, 6 races as a 4-year-old, and he's been facing big fields. I look at it's another angle. I look at how many horses have these horses faced. Are they in smaller fields out west? Are they in sizable fields east or in Oaklawn or Churchill? And this horse has been facing some pretty sizable fields. So this is outside of Gufo. This is my going to be my second choice in the exactas.
Awesome. We've got a goal for Tampa Bay. Let's go 2-1, and there's less than 2 minutes left. So let's go. Come on, Lightning. I need them to win it all. Florida, man. Who would have thought Florida is like the hockey mecca now of the United States? It's becoming.
Tampa owes me for taking out my Florida Panther team. They freaking owe me, man.
Well, I'll talk about a horse that owes all of us, Channel Maker. This is the last horse in the race. Then we'll get to the Belmont Stakes for you guys, and then finish up the contest. 8-1, Jockey God Luis Saez aboard for Belmont. And last time out, it was kind of like the last straw for me for Channel Maker. Either this horse was going to win the grade 2, or this horse should probably just stop racing, is what I was saying, because, he's just been beat up, dude. I mean, he goes in these races, he gets on the lead, and he gets run down. That's got to be demoralizing as a horse. And so last time out, he sat second, didn't get run down by another mystery, is who I picked in the Elkhorn, the block horse. But, Channel Maker, in the grade 1 level, he's always just been a little bit of a cut below for me, and especially over the last 2 years. People forget this horse ran in the Breeders' Cup turf against Tarnawa. And so, and hung on for third that day with Franco. You get Saez instead of Franco, which I think he'll be, pretty aggressive. But, we've got 4 Chad Browns in this race. And, I don't think Channel Maker is going to necessarily get an easy lead if he gets it. Just looking at the other pace figures, all these other horses can be faster than him too, if they want to be. And we've seen a buyer regression over the last year. This horse used to just throw out hundreds all day long. Now we're kind of, sitting in that mid 90s to upper 90s, where I don't think it really gets better than what we've seen from Channel Maker.
Yeah, I agree with you. He's definitely past his prime, which is still amazing. The buyers that he's thrown out there, and he's earning cash every race, top 5. And last race, surprise 3.5-1. 8-horse field, not too bad. Second off the layoff, obviously Mott's my guy. This horse can win on the lead. There's not a ton of. This is another turf race, the sprint race, and there's not a ton of speed in this race. So who knows? Saez, great on the lead. He might get. He's going to get the lead here. I mean, I suspect, right?
He could. Unless Trip Huven can try to press this horse, which I think Chad's going to want to set a little bit of pace in there. But here's the other thing. The catch-22 for Chad is like, I don't really want to send a rabbit, because Gufo would absolutely eat up that rabbit, because he's the best closer in the race. So it's like you kind of want to send a horse that's going to just barely press it, but not too fast. And so that way you don't set the race up for the Clement horse. And so this is a very intriguing race for me on Saturday. So, all right, guys, we're going to go to the Belmont Stakes now. And I'm going to flash some of our tickets so you guys can see what we're playing with here. I'm going to throw Dylan's spread pick 5 ticket down below so you guys can see it. Dylan, we got a decent field for the Belmont Stakes. Not the best one we've seen, but it seems like we've got a true lone speed horse in We the People. Flavian Pratt, Rudolph Brissett, Windstar Farm had an amazing effort last time out in the slop at Belmont, going 1 1/8 miles. Is the hype real for We the People, or are people just looking at that last effort and saying, man, that horse really popped. Can he do it again? He's going to have a pace advantage. but none of these horses have ever gone 1.5 miles.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest question mark. Yeah, on paper, this horse looks amazing, like definitely one of the top 3-year-olds. The Peter Pan was just an incredible race. The one race he didn't basically, the Arkansas Derby, looks like he the notes say he was washy, just wasn't up for it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this horse could be a beast, and lone speed inside. I'm a fan. I'm definitely going to take a shot with. I'll probably go 2 or 3 deep on most of my tickets because I have singles prior to that. But 1.5 miles is a lot to ask for. But with that being said, this horse has been off. It'll be about a month, so he should be fresh, and it wouldn't surprise me if Pratt is get the wire on this horse.
Yeah. I looked 2 back because we were driving home from Gulfstream in a rainstorm, a torrential downpour, the day that Cyberknife won the Arkansas Derby, and We the People ran 7th. I remember we put together a trifecta, and I was keen We the People on top. Apparently, he was washed out in the paddock, and I would have loved to have known that, but we were getting washed out on I-95. And so, this horse obviously, absolutely threw in a freak effort last time out. And I think that the morning line is pretty clever here, going 2-1 here on We the People. I mean, that's an aggressive morning line, but it's probably where the public money is going to be going because he is the true lone speed. So now the question that people have in the chat is, who's going to press this horse? Could it be Nest? Nest is the other Todd Fletcher in this race, where Mo Donegal obviously is going to need some pace to run into. And so maybe it's Nest that shows a little bit of early turn of foot. But, we're not going to know until that first turn or halfway down the backstretch of what this pace scenario is actually going to be. Some of these horses, like we talked about earlier, they mature and they grow up and they kind of change their running style a little bit. And so I was scratching my head for about a week, figuring out why is Nest in this race. She couldn't beat Secret Oath in the Kentucky Oaks. We're stretching her out. She hasn't beat the boys yet. And now we're trying against the boys going the longest distance on dirt that they'll see all year. It's an interesting move by Pletcher, but, Todd's a smart guy. And, maybe he said, there's no speed in this race, so I'm going to send Nest to sit second. And if she's good enough, maybe at the top of the stretch, we can get a jump on We the People and try to hold off Mo Donegal closing. Maybe that's the case for that horse.
I don't, this isn't a crazy strong field, and I like what Pletcher and the Connect Rapoli, I like what they're doing here, taking a shot with this filly. She's bred to run all day. 1.5 miles shouldn't be a problem. Curling, you got AP Indy on the bottom. I wasn't a bad second. I know she was beaten favorite her last race in the Oaks. I don't think that was a terrible second. I have to rewatch that race, but. All things considered. But yeah, I don't think anybody's going to be able to push We the People. We the People might go 50. Pretty slow. A half mile, maybe. You'll see a 6 furlongs at 112, 113. But even those speed horses, they lose the stamina, they get tired, and it could set it up for a horse just right off the pace or someone 4 or 5 lengths back, top of the stretch.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. Any love for the 2 Skippylongstockings here? I was trying to figure out why we're going to the Belmont Stakes after the effort in the Preakness. Made a decent run towards the end, but we couldn't even beat Creative Minister in that race. Now we're stretching out a little bit further. This horse finished 3rd in the Wood, which came back as a really good race with early voting as the Preakness winner that got ran down by Mo Donegal that day. And I had early voting singled. And of course, I get Rosario'd on that day in a $200 straight pick 3, which was the last leg of Speaker's Corner and City Man. But we won't talk about the past because we're horse players. Anyway, Skippylongstocking is a pass for me. I think it's another shot for the connections to take. And, really scratching my head here. I don't think that Skippylongstocking is going to be a factor for me. Maybe if there was pace in the race, but even if there was pace, I'm looking at other closers like Mo Donegal or like a Creative Minister type that could sit tactical.
although, Skippy has shown some prior speed in the past, you never know. Like, this horse could go 23, 47, 48, but I think the best chance is for that horse to close. But yeah, definitely not a horse that I'm playing.
Yep. Okay, we talked about Nest a little bit coming out of the Kentucky Oaks effort. The connections are taking a shot here. Todd's got 2 in the race. Nest has really done nothing wrong. Not a bad effort last time out. Can she beat the boys? Can she get the distance? We got Curlin in the breeding, and so that bodes well for trying to go long. You get Jose Ortiz instead of Irad, and so do what you will with the jockey musical chair situation, but Irad wasn't getting off Mo Donegal because I think this has been Todd's Belmont horse all year long. I think Mo Donegal's been pointed to this race. Let's talk about Rich Strike, the Derby winner, the Buzz horse. You go from 80-1 to 7-2 in the next race. Are all those people that won hundreds of dollars on Rich Strike in the Derby? They're all going to be back betting this horse at 7-2 in the Belmont. I promise you.
Yeah, no doubt. I think Rich Strike's going to end up being the favorite. I maybe co-favorite with We the People. You feel that, Brady, you think We the People is going to be around 2-1. I just think
I think Mo Donegal will as well.
The non-gamblers though too, that that are just getting into the game, watch the Derby. There's going to be $1 million or several $100,000 of win money on Rich Strike just because you have new gamblers or people are just taking a shot on Belmont Day. So that horse is definitely going to get some money, maybe 5-2, somewhere in that range. But sure. I can't. I don't see this horse emulating the Derby.
No, I would agree. I think I loved him. If I would have known about him at 80-1, maybe I didn't even love him at that. I'm sure as heck not going to love him at 7-2 or lower. I'll let this horse beat me. And we know what happened in the Derby with the pace scenario. You're not going to get that pace. I mean, this half mile is going to be 5 seconds slower than the Derby was. So don't expect to get that kind of setup. I put Dylan's tickets down below. Now I'm flashing my pick 5, my spread ticket, and my hammer ticket. So look below to see what we're playing. Rich Strike is a pass for me. Sonny Leone to ride again, first time at Belmont. So good luck, Sonny. Creative Minister. This is a horse that I was pretty high on in the Preakness, and McPeak has really run this horse into shape, man. He's really done nothing wrong other than screwed us on that one day at Gulfstream in March, where he was like 20 lengths behind and then just tried to nail Felix on the wire and lost by a short neck. I remember that horse was a 15-1 morning line. He opened up at 2-1. And so the word was out that this horse was a beast. And then, breaks his maiden, takes a step forward in an allowance company, takes another step forward in the Preakness. Is this horse, this will be his 5th start since early March. Is this too much racing too soon for Creative Minister? I think that's the only downside I can say about him is maybe this is too much racing all crammed into, just a couple of months.
It's a good question. Trainers know, right? I mean, they're with the horses, pretty much every day. And some horses are just bred. They just want to run, run often. And you see that with other horses, you got to be a little bit more, cautious with and every 4 to 6 weeks. But yeah, you could tell, like I've been to the barn and I'm at the, barn a couple days a week and there are certainly a lot of horses that are just anxious to get on the track and work out or run. So maybe this is just that type of horse. I think it was in Creative Cause was in, if I'm not mistaken, Creative Cause, ran a lot of races up until his 3 or 4 year old season, if to my recollection. So maybe it's just in the blood. Who knows?
Yeah.
But this horse
maybe he just wants to run all day.
Yeah. He's Creative Cause, Giant Causeway run, tap it on the bottom. This horse is bred. The 1.5 miles shouldn't be any issue whatsoever. He's increased buyer every race. One on the slop, one on the fast dirt. I like this horse a lot. I'm just hoping he stays within 4 or 5 lengths of the lead to put himself in position. But I'm a big fan of this horse.
Yeah, I am too. I think this is probably the third most likely winner for me. As far as ticketing, how we could play this horse, you're going to get, I think, all that 6-1 on him. I wouldn't want any lower than 6-1 though. I'd be a little concerned that I wasn't getting a fair price. But let's move on to who I think is going to be right there in the mix. I think that this 6 horse, Mo Donegal, the goal all year long had to be the Belmont. This horse just screams that he wants more ground. IRAD stays aboard. This horse actually beat your Preakness winner early voting 2-back in the Wood Memorial. I'm still sad about that day because I didn't single him. I singled early voting, but we're over it now. This horse, I expected a little bit better of an effort in the Derby with the pace. So if we look at the fractions of the Kentucky Derby, it was absolutely scorching this year. But IRAD took this horse way wide where Rich Strike stayed on the rail. Had Mo Donegal stayed on the rail and switched trips with Rich Strike, we may be talking about Mo Donegal as the Derby winner. So I think that in a short field, you're at Belmont. It's Todd Pletcher who really puts stamina in horses, through hard training. I really think that this is probably who I'm going to be really keying in on. I look at 2 scenarios. We the People's that good, and he can get the distance of 1.5 miles, and he's lone speed. Nobody's going to catch him. If he can't get the 1.5 miles, I think this is the horse that can, and I think this is the horse that's going to be there to pass him in the last 16th of a mile. And Brian thinks Mo Donegal is a fraud. His Gulfstream effort in the Holy Bull, he broke bad. Okay, ever since then, hasn't been too bad. So maybe Brian thinks this horse is just a money burner. It could be. I'd sure as heck rather take 2-1 or 5-2 on Belmont Day on this horse than the prices that we're probably going to swallow in some softer spots on him. I just think if we think the field overall isn't that strong, this isn't the greatest rendition of the Belmont Stakes by any means. And even though this is a deep closer, I really have IRAD sitting this horse probably 4th the whole way around the track. I do not think he's going to take him back to dead last. I see this horse probably sitting 4th and then trying to run down We the People. And if he can't, maybe that's a contest play. If I really believe We the People looks good on Belmont Day, that maybe there's a straight exact a 1-6 that take your $6 and pass go and collect your $200.
That's your boy.
It is.
And by the way, Brady and I did not discuss our picks prior to this to our podcast here. So this is but I just had an inclination that Mo Donegal was an IRAD was going to be his one of his top choices.
Yeah,
don't need a crystal ball, but no, horse definitely has a legit shot, no doubt.
For sure. I'm flashing Dylan's pick 5 again down below, so be sure you guys take a look at that, the spread tickets and the hammer tickets. Let's go to the 7 horse Golden Glider. This is the Cassie horse that Dylan Davis, who has been an exceptional rider on the New York circuit for last year. He gets the mount. This horse finished 2nd by 10 lengths to We the People. I think that this horse is probably in the race because they think this horse can run 2nd again. I really don't think that Golden Glider's a win candidate. Obviously We the People ran him off their feet, but if you look at who this horse has faced, he's faced Zandon, he's faced Smile Happy, he faced Emmanuel, which came back last weekend and won the turf race, first time going on the turf, Classic Causeway twice. I'm like, if you're not going to run down Classic Causeway, how are you going to run down We the People, which is a better horse in my opinion? And so I think that this horse is up against it. If We the People for some reason doesn't get the distance and Golden Glider is maybe that horse that's sitting 2nd, maybe that's his shot at a big price, but I still am going to have a really hard time getting to the 7 horse.
Yeah, I'm with you. Third or 4th, it is not too shabby of a check here. I'm just curious see what the amounts are for a 3rd place finish. So the total pool, the prize pool is $800,000. 3rd place gets $150,000.
Hey.
So yeah,
there you go.
Not a bad payday. Dylan Davis wants to go for 3rd, get 10% or whatever is. I assume his cut is around there. It's like making $15,000 in one day, not too shabby.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll take them out. All right, the 8 horse Barber Road for John Ortiz and Joel Rosario gets up. been trying to figure this horse out. Raylu Gutierrez has been riding this horse. Our boy Raylu has done a nice job on him. If we're looking at who he's run well against, a 6th place finish in the Derby was awesome. But this horse is another deep closer where we saw Mo Donegal, Ridge Strike, and Barber Road all get, a pace advantage when the pace was so hot up front, and Zandon. And so, I'm probably going to chuck that effort and say he wasn't that good. I just think that this is kind of your poor man's closer. I mean, if we look at the last time that he won, it was an allowance $30,000 race against Jesuit and Barstow. And have we heard of those horses since? And that was going 6.5 furlongs sprinting. Hasn't really had that much success. And I think a lot of the horses that have beat him have kind of come back as frauds, like Newgrange or Un Oho or Cyberknife. And, so, for me, it's a class thing. I worry about his class and who he's actually beat. Number 2, I just don't think he's that good. And so I think, you get Rosario, which you kind of know what ride you're going to get. And we know that there's not going to be hardly any pace in this race. So for that reason, I think that Barber Road is really going to be up against it from a pace scenario.
Yeah. Since he's been routing, he's been taken back, trying to close and come off the pace. When he was sprinting, he was going 23 flat, 23 and change. Blinkers off here. A horse is definitely increased buyers the last few races. Wouldn't be a shocker. I think from the outside post, they'll be a little bit more aggressive. But the horse you can't knock him again, maybe like you said, the fields he's been competing against, but he does fire like every race. So you can't completely negate this horse.
Yeah. Magic brings up a good point. The whole race is filled with closers. He's right. So what you're going to see is you're going to see some closers. They're going to be sitting 3rd and 4th where they're not used to sitting. And so, and you know what? That's why I think Nest is probably going to go a little bit with We the People, not pressing. But, I think you're going to see some different tactics from some different horses that maybe we haven't seen before now that we're stretching out to 1.5 miles. And so, Barber Road in the money. There you go. Sure will pay nice.
Why not?
We got Brian singling Rich Strike. So they're all closers. Maybe it's just going to be a sprint to the finish and it's going to be a blanket finish. Who knows?
There could 1.5 miles, man. No, you're right. 1.5 miles is a tricky distance. And even like I said, if you have a horse on the lead, lone speed, he's favorite, they get tired at that distance. So, first time going that distance, maybe it is worth taking a shot with a closer.
Absolutely. So there you have it with the full field for the Belmont Stakes and our late pick 5 selections. Remember, guys, click on our contest link. We want you to fill that out tonight if you can. If not, get it done first thing tomorrow morning because it's a 2-day contest. So we want everybody to be eligible and be signed up in time. So that way we can give that out to the prizes to the winners. And you can have the best chance to win because if you forget to sign up on Friday, you're really behind it because your jockey or your trainer probably won a couple of races on Friday. So be sure to click that link and sign up. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel where you're watching us here. Dylan, want to go over the contest one more time before we sign off with these guys?
Yeah. By the way, Lisa, we have Ray Lou's an amazing guy. I've met him a couple times, spoken to him. I'm gonna. When I had DGen Nation, we actually had jockey pants made for him, and he wore them proud. So I think we're gonna do the same thing. I love Jose Santos Inc. So yeah, we're gonna try to get some nice digs for Ray Lou and maybe Jose Santos and the rest of his jockey colony. It'd be really nice.
But Santos is rolling with the jockeys right now, man. He's doing a heck of
on
a
fire,
job.
man. Yeah. And so Jose is like the nicest guy ever. Like such a cool and sweetheart of a guy. So back to the contest. Another caveat we'll throw in there: if you guys happen to refer friends or a family member that's interested in horse racing or gamblers, DGens, what have you, we'll incentivize people for getting additional people involved with Winning Bred and what we're trying to do here, which is obviously handicap together, spread the wealth, spread the love, get winners. Again, this game is extremely tough, as we know. The top handicappers, they win it. They bat 250. Maybe some of the upper echelon are batting 300. It's a tough game, but if we can all get together and find some winners as a team, that's how life works in general. Like I'm all about the karma and finding winners for everybody. And you guys offering insight to us. We don't have all the answers, and so we're always looking to you guys as well. You guys and girls, I should say. But yeah, back to the contest. Jockey with the most wins tomorrow and Saturday, and trainer with the most wins tomorrow and Saturday at Belmont. Those instructions, and it's in sort of a survey format in the Google Docs we're going to share with you. We're also going to have a contest where there's going to be team CEO, team BK Chalk with pick 5 tickets that we're going to share a percentage if one of us ends up winning. And then there's going to be a third pick 5 ticket where we're going to basically survey everyone that fills out the form. And we're going to get your choices, and we're going to average out the main selections per race, and the highest percentage of that particular horse in that particular race. We're going to put that on the ticket. We might even do multiple horses in a race where you can win, where you can hit a pick 5. And it looks a little bit chalky, but if we're going to throw in a couple of long shots there, and who knows, we could all make a nice score, and we're definitely all about spreading the wealth.
Absolutely. Well said. It's going to be a fun weekend. I live for the big days. And so this is what I like about the big days is I think the 5 days leading up and the hype of having time to handicap it and the anticipation and just talking to buddies about it. Everybody's got these huge group text change with like 25 different people of like, hey, who do you like here in the Belmont? Oh, everybody has a different opinion. That's what makes horse racing so awesome, is that we're all wrong and we're all right very often. And so we love chatting with you guys. Thank you for the support of the Winning Bred community. We look forward to doing a bunch of different things going forward with you guys. Have some new stuff that's in the works that's gonna be pretty cool. And we just want to make you guys part of it. And thank you for your support. And so all right, guys.
Thanks everybody for joining us. We really appreciate it. We'll be posting everything tonight and into the morning. We're also going to give away some swag the next couple of days, and we may even run a show parlay on Saturday and spread some of that wealth as well. And those are really fun. We almost cracked one 2 months ago at Santa Anita. We came very close, so hopefully we can do it again on Saturday.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, it's going to be a good time. And if you're playing the contest, we're going to watch out for you guys. Good luck in the contest if you're playing. We may play the contest, who knows? But it's going to be a fun Belmont day for sure, and the card's great. We've got a lot of the superstars that we're going to be seeing going forward into the Breeders' Cup races later on this year. And like Dylan said, we're going to be giving away some swag. We've got a lot of contests going. So the important thing is click on the link. We're going to tweet out the link as well. We want you to sign up for that. Please sign up and be a part of this. And we'd love to have you. So, Dylan, any last words before we sign off?
Yeah, lastly, if you guys want to see anything from us, if there's content that you'd like to see, Brady and I are going to be working on some educational videos on basically how to handicap and how to read a racing forum, and just some of the basic stuff and some more in-depth information. We're going to be running that on Instagram, on TikTok, and so we're doing a lot of cool things behind the scenes. We're going to build a software application for people to be able to keep track of their tickets, and it's going to have a built-in calculator. Just a lot of cool things behind the scenes. But if you guys have anything that you'd like to see from us, like I said, any content, anything that'll help you in your handicapping, we're always readily available. So please DM us or even put a post up on Winning Bred, so we can create some different content on there, and hopefully we can ticket structure. Yes, that's something that is in the works, no doubt. We all need help with ticket structure, including me.
We all do. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging with us. We just cracked 2 hours, so that was thorough, man. I love really taking a deep dive. I think a lot of people just kind of skim the card, but I love taking the deep dive, looking at every horse, making a case for, making a case against, doing my ABC, ticket structure thing, which, like you said, we're going to do some videos, some educational stuff going forward to really help you guys. And we want that to be interactive. We want to know what you guys want to learn about. And so, we're going to be having other horse racing personalities on the shows with us. And so we're just going to grow this organically with you guys. It's all about the community and the Winning Bred support that you guys give us. So, all right, guys, good luck this weekend. We will launch the contest. We'll announce the contest winners, and we will see you next time.